So I want to show you a quick example of how you can use Moodle in the classroom to review content and to introduce new content in a way that makes sure that all of your students are engaged. So here I am in my Moodle page, and I'm going to click on this Introduction to Medieval Literature lesson. You'll notice this icon is 3 slides together. That indicates it's a lesson. The first thing we did when we started this lesson is I asked the kids about, do they remember what we talked about the previous week about the frame tales, other information about medieval literature, and they see this slide in front of them and they're actually following through on their notebooks as well. We reminded them of an example that we used, Forrest Gump, and then we introduced the idea that we know that we need to understand story types in order to understand the central themes that are going to be developed in that story. So that's our new piece of understanding that we're shooting for. I invite them all to click next with me, and I introduce them to the learning goal. You can read it here in blue. It's to determine themes or central ideas of a text and talk about how they're developed. And then I ask them to pull out what I call the critical tasks. What do they have to do in order to meet that goal? And so they end up creating a bulleted list of critical tasks. So here's the kind of thing you might see from a student. They're going to need to find 2 or more themes from the text, explain how they're revealed in the events of the story, and so on. But they have an opportunity right in this lesson to respond to this learning goal so that we make sure that they understand it. Gives them an opportunity to put it in their own words before I ask them where they are on a scale. I invite them to hit submit. And then the order of these is not what I'd like it to be. I think I need to change a setting, but you see what this is. This is your 4 through 0 scale. They get to select where they think they are. And I ask them to think about what they had just written about in terms of understanding the goal before they select their level. And I invite them to hit submit. Gives them a little feedback if they've selected this answer. These are the foundational skills necessary to advance your thinking. A little teacher talk to them, and ask them to hit continue. Then we bring it back to the content that we originally started with, which is what's a frame tale. That's going to get us back into the discussion about the partner's tale. And so we're going to start just with this simple understanding. Do they know what a frame tale is? And so I asked them to think about what we talked about last week and our example that we used at the beginning of this lesson to summarize their thinking. Once they've finished summarizing what they think a frame tale is, I ask them to either submit that or turn to a neighbor to discuss what they think and make any adjustments that they think they might need to based on that conversation with their shoulder partner, and I invite them to hit submit. That's the end of the lesson. One of the positives is that they have had an opportunity to interact with the material as we went through the information, and it is also reviewable. So if they go and click on review lesson, if they open this up again, they can click review lesson, and it will show them what they said about these questions, and they can review their notes, so to speak, from this. So that's how to use Moodle to engage your students and promote participation at a higher level.